I wake up in the AM and my brain is full of mayhem from the week of NFL on my mind. Before I even open X to try to send a text, gotta get it off my chest before I lose my mind. It's alright. If the D can't get a stop, the O-line just can't block, and it feels like it's a waste of your time. Trying hard just to care, wanna pull out your hair. Hang with Jimmy Wednesday morning, it'll be alright. It's alright. 'Cause it's It's alright. It's alright. It's alright to be mad as hell.
It is all right. It's so okay to be so angry on Wednesday morning because Wednesday is Rage Day, like we all know. And Jimmy is excited to be back with you once again for an edition of AM Mayhem. What is up, Chuck? I'm gonna try. But it is a little early. It is in the AM, so we're gonna keep it down. I think we still got some folks sleeping in the other room. But who cares? Let's wake them up. All right. Let's wake them up. Let's talk some football. Let's talk some things that disturbed us this week. If you're here in the chat with us, thank you. If you're watching later, drop your comments, leave your issues. Maybe Coach will get to them next week. So this is AM Mayhem. What we like to do is Coach likes to come in. Wednesday is Rage Day. We come in, we let it out, we get it all out. You got to get out the frustration. It's kind of like the purge when you know you're getting antsy and you know you're getting worked up and you're about to bust. This is what this show is for. That's what Wednesday at 10 a.m. is for. You come in here, you go, "Ugh!" Maybe you hit the gym before, afterwards. I'm not sure, that's on you. You live your best life. This is just how Coach rocks. This is how I get my stress out. All right. And I don't get tired. You know, unlike my guy who I love right here, when it comes to raging, we don't get tired, man. I don't get burnt out, man. Anyway, we're gonna move right along. We got a good show for you this morning. Jimmy's got some great topics to talk about. Coach, if there's anything you'd like to hear or see or say while you're in here, please let me know. But without further ado, let's get right into this thing because I'm ready. Let's get right into these topics. All right. Topic one, Coach has got to eat some crow. All right. I got to let out all the anguish and all the despair from the days where I just had to eat crow. And what do I have to? Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Might be at a tailgate Sunday. Not really sure. So I'll let you know, Chuck. But anyway, I'll get right into it. I've got to eat some crow. I was wrong about multiple things. I told everybody, you can forget about it. Everybody's crazy. Dak's going to sign Saturday. He's going to sign before the season opener. He's going to, he's going to get this deal done. We're going to pay him. He's not going anywhere. And while I thought he wasn't going anywhere, I also thought, man, I was telling him, you're crazy. Dak's not putting pen to paper this season. There's no way. He's going to sit it out and get, $300 or $400 million. He's going to make a gazillion bucks. And who knows if it doesn't happen nice in the playoffs for us this year, if we don't make it all the way to the Super Bowl or something, then he's probably gone. He's walking. So, Dak's farewell parade, and I was sold. I was even convincing other people. I was on Nix's show, and I think I argued with Tuck about it, and I argued with so many people about it. I was like, he's not signing. I'm sorry. I'll eat all the crow I can on that one. All the crow, because Jimmy was wrong. All right, I was wrong. He signed. I can't believe he signed for the $240 he signed for. But, incredible. Incredible. And we got Lamb paid. So for all you who hate it out here, you hate it out in Dallas. Look at other places where they still got stars to sign. They've got offensive line issues that they didn't replenish. They've got defensive issues that they didn't take care of. While everybody's talking all this offseason, Dallas did nothing. They did nothing. It was the worst offseason. They didn't get. Who did they get? Eric Kendricks. Who did they go get? The only player to look like the best middle linebacker in football week one and have an interception, a tackle for loss, and a sack. That's all we did. And then, we didn't draft very well at all with two centers who started yesterday and took care of a great defensive, not yesterday, Sunday, and took care of a great offensive line. That's all we did. So, while I eat crow, I hate Houston. Wow, Chuck. Chuck says he hates Houston. Okay, just so everybody knows, world, Chuck hates Houston. You got to cut down the penalties, Coach. I'm working on it. I told him, but you can't keep these crazy guys in line. It's hard to do. So I ate my crow. It didn't taste great. I didn't enjoy it too much. We're gonna move right along. So I didn't want to do this topic today. I really didn't. They told me I had to. I get calls every now and then, and they're like, "Do it." I'm like, "No." They're like, "Do it." I'm like, "No." They're like, "We have your soul," and I'm like, "Oh, well." Then I guess I have to do it. I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't want to do it. But I have to know, how in the hurts do the Philadelphia Eagles win games that they should not win? Because I'm going to tell you right now, they are winning in spite of that QRB1, Jalen Hurts. They are winning in spite of that guy. I don't know how in the hurts do they do it over and over? Forgive me. Sorry, guys. I don't mean to rage out too hard. What's going on? What's going on? They 2 interceptions, I believe it was, a strip sack where he loses the ball. They get it. Green Bay gets 2 turnovers in their own red zone. I guess I have to credit Philly's defense for only holding them to like 3 or 6 points in that situation. But how do they keep winning these ball games with this guy named Jalen Hurts? Somebody please tell me, because it's driving me nuts. And they're 1-0, just like us. They should be 0-1. Green Bay looked like the better team for the most part of that game. I'll give it the Eagles' defensive line was, I guess, probably most all the best unit on the field, which was, I didn't say it. If anything happens to any of the Eagles players, you can find Landry from yesterday. I believe he said it, and Chuck right here in the comments today saying very vicious, malicious, evil things. No, but I just don't get it. I don't understand how in the Hurts the Eagles keep winning with Jalen Hurts at quarterback, man. It's like they win in spite of the guy. Saquon was a godsend for them. They do have a good offensive line, and Saquon going over there tore it up yesterday. If there's one move we look back on this offseason and went, yeah, running back's a dime a dozen, but maybe paying for him would have been worth it. It might be Saquon because, man, he's good. Zeke looked good yesterday, but, I don't think anybody would ever say Zeke's been Saquon. I would take Zeke in certain situations over Saquon, but anyway, that's for another day, another show. Another day, another show. I'm so mad. So, as you guys know, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm ready for this next game. I'm ready for this Saints game because I'm ready to move on past this week. We beat up the Brownies. The Eagles somehow slipped out with a win, which breaks my heart. Barkley is always hurt. Who knows if he'll play this whole season? You might be right about that one, Chuck. But I've got some pets and they're players and peeves, right? Just like teachers, coaches have pets, and I've got a couple each week. Last week, my pet player of the week was CeeDee Lamb. I was like, he's really got to come out. He took all that time off. We heard about him working with Dak, when they would get time and when CeeDee would be in Dallas and yada yada, when they would link up. So we heard about him getting work. I needed to see it. Sometimes you see a cramp or a really high pitch count or a really low pitch count, for a guy, or because I can't stand these contract issues when the guy's got like a year or two left and he's like, I'm not coming to work unless you pay me more money. But anyway, that's contract issues are a whole nother show. I'm going to have to get a guest on to debate about that one. But so my pet player last week was CeeDee Lamb, and you know what? Didn't blow up the stat line. But way to go, CeeDee. You looked really, really good running the ball on the jet sweeps, on the end arounds. Your route running was there. Your hands were there. Your quickness was there. Everything was there. Looking like one of the better wide receivers in the league. So let's go, CeeDee Lamb. Coach's player last week came through. Got an A overall. Very good game. Touchdown probably would have put it, I'll say an A-. Touchdown would have made it an A, but I'll give him an A- because he looked really good and he didn't do any things wrong. And then a couple that kind of he dropped were kind of in low, bad positions. Defense was kind of on him. So while you can call them drops, It wasn't just like, hit him in the hands and he missed it. So CD had a solid game. I'm not too mad about that. All out on Mozzie. Chuck says, maybe don't be foreshadowing, Chuck. Don't do no foreshadowing, Chuck. My peeve last week was Mr. Myles Garrett. And if you don't know how Coach feels about Myles Garrett, I encourage you to go check out the short, the TikTok, and last week's MaYhEm about how Coach feels about Myles Garrett. I digress. This week's pet player, has got to be, Chuck wanted to give all my sauce and secrets away. It's got to be Mazi Smith. And I'll tell you why it's got to be. Because I seen Jordan Phillips last week, this last game, I believe more than I did Mazi Smith. Mazi Smith was a first-round draft pick who's been asked to kind of fluctuate and do some things, but Zimmer's only going to ask him to play sound discipline football and do what he can do best. So if we don't see him on the field much, then I'm going to have to be with Chuck and be all out on Mazi. And I hate it because I really liked him. I was hoping everybody wanted him to pan out. You need defensive tackles. But when you're that high of a pick and it's year 3 now, right? Or year 2, I'm sorry. It can take, I hear a lot of people say it can take 3 or 4 years for defensive tackles to develop. Coach, don't have that long. I'm older. I don't have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years. Okay. You're a first round pick. It's year 2. I need you playing this year. And I need you playing better than the guy we just went and spit a 6th round pick for, who the team was willing to let go. That's where I'm at on that one. Call me crazy if you will. That's where I'm at on that one. So Coach's pet player this week has to be Mazi. It absolutely has to be, or like Chuck, I may be out on him. And then my peeve of this week is going to be Mr. Dreadhead, Mr. Gold Teeth, Mr. Buckle Knees, Mr. I walk and look and talk funny, Mr. Alvin can't run a marathon. Alvin Kamara. Look, I don't know him too much personally, but I know him on the field and I see what he does to other teams. But I've also seen what LVE does to him, and I know DeMarvion Overshow is going to do the same damn thing, and Alvin Kamara is going nowhere. That's Coach's pet peeve of the week. When I'm in the room this week, when I'm in the locker room, when I'm in the war room, and when we're in the film room, we're going to be drawing it up. We're going to be looking at this guy, Alvin Kamara, because we don't trust Derek Carr. Nobody's scared of Derek Carr. That's a broke down car. That's a Derek minivan over there in New Orleans, all right? And nobody's scared of Raheed, who I can't even pronounce his name. I think it's Rashid Talib Rashid. So help me out, Chuck. I don't know, that Pro Bowl wide receiver over there. Kalen Carson is not scared of that guy. Trevon Diggs is not scared of Chris Olave. The only thing we have to worry about is there's this offensive line and Alvin Kamara. And watch our D-line, including Coach's pet player, better step up. Watch these guys handle this New Orleans Saints offensive line just like they did that Cleveland offensive line. Shut that run down. Shut Coach's pet peeve, Alvin Kamara, down. And these Dallas Cowboys are going there and take care of business. I can't stand that guy. Yeah, doo-doo. Rashid Hadoodoo. And Chuck said, told me to say it. It's not on me. I'm just doing, okay? I'm just handling the chat. So don't blame Coach, okay? Rashid Hadoodoo. That's the guy's name. But I'm not scared of him. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to put any fear in this team. We think it's all going to be a blowout. I think we said it on the show yesterday, which, by the way, go check out our show yesterday at 6:30 p.m. We started a little late, but every Tuesday we have a nice show for you. The Star We Are Talking with myself, Landry's Legend, and Slammy Sammy. It was a great show. Back to raging. I'm not going to be scared of this team. They're not going to... Anyway, we'll move right along because I think I've given you enough rage this morning. That's all it takes, is about a good 10 to 15 minutes to get the blood working, really, really work everything out, lash out. and Chuck, thanks again. Chuck is my guy. Chuck's a day one guy. Been every Wednesday morning since Coach has been in here raising. Chuck been in here raging with me, and I hope we do it all season long. Chuck, I'd love to meet you and get a photo with you, maybe display it on one of these episodes of AM Mayhem. Let the world know exactly who Chuck is, exactly how cool he is, and the fact that he's willing to jump in on Wednesday and rage with Coach, because Wednesday is Rage Day for 15 minutes. That's how we get the hell out of here. You're my guy. No, I said it first, Chuck. I said it first. Anyway, all right. Guys, thanks again for stopping by. Anybody who checked out the stream, remember to go check out the live shows on Tuesday. Remember to stop by Wednesdays at 10 a.m. Chuck, you got me going this morning. You helped me let out the rage. Now I'm going to go have a phenomenal day, which is what I asked the rest of you to do. Go have a great, wonderful, blessed day today. And, just remember to always fan responsibly. And speaking of fanning responsibly, some people don't fan responsibly. They don't. What do you mean by that, Coach? Well, I mean, they abuse their fanning privileges. They outdrink their fanning privileges. They outscream their fanning privileges. Maybe they buy season tickets for their own team and then yell, Micah Parsons sucks, while we're up 7. Some fans bother me. Some fans need to learn to fan responsibly. You can subscribe, turn on your notifications. I'm not asking, I'm telling you to do it. All right. I've got just a tad more rage in me to let out. I'm not asking, I'm telling you, hit the like, hit the subscribe, turn on your notifications. Make sure you're back Wednesday at 10 a.m. I will find you and I will